Okay, so today I wanted to give you a quick demo of what it's like to use Visual Studio Code with React Native. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up an app. So I'm going to say open, and I'm going to pick a folder. Now you'll see I have a number of folders here, and these are all different apps that I've made throughout the school year. So I have apps that I've made through tutorials, through helping students, through whatever. Right now I'm going to open up the Chore Tracker app, which is the app that I've showed you all many times, the app of me tracking my kids' earnings through their chores. Alright, so when I open this folder, we're going to see a couple things. So first of all, we have this welcome screen, which you can choose to have show up every time you open the app, or you cannot. You'll see that we have recent links to the different folders I've opened in the past, and some other options that we have here. We can always close this out if we don't like it. When you're working within your folder, you will see that you have a lot of folders that we see here. App.js is the folder that we're going to edit. So if I double click on this, what you're going to see over here is you're going to see the code that we're used to seeing in Code.js. You're going to see the import statements. You'll see the different, state variables that we've had, all of this text that we've seen before. All of this is the same that we've seen in the past. The only difference is that it's color coded, which is nice. We have some code completion features, which are also very nice. And yeah, this is an IDE, so we have advanced features that we don't have in Code.js. And you can always do some little tutorials on the advanced features of VS Code to see what else there is out there. So what I want to show you is, first of all, how to launch an emulator. And then after we do that, I'm going to show you how to create your own app and how to work within that. So let's say I wanted to launch my emulator here. So I'm going to go into a terminal window, and I'll just click up here in terminal and say new terminal. Now you'll notice that the default location is the folder that I'm currently in. Now, some of you are familiar with command line prompts, others have never used them before. So this is kind of something that'll take some time to get used to, but it's definitely worth your time. A common phrase is CD, which stands for change directory. And so right now I'm in the Chore Tracker folder for my Chore Tracker app. If I were to say ls, that's going to list the items that I have in my folder. And so right now this is going to show all of the files that are in my Chore Tracker folder. If I go over here and click on this, I can see all of those same files. So ls essentially lists what's in my folder. Now if I do cd ... that's going to take me backwards a folder. So right now you can see that if I go back a folder, that brings me into my React Native 2021 folder. If I do an ls here, I will see all of the different separate apps that I have. Now if I were to go back even further, and then now I'm in my user account for Astana on my Mac. So if I did ls here, I have a lot more files that I have here. I can see all of my different folders that are, common on a computer. I can see like my downloads, my documents, and so forth. And then I can also see this folder that I created. Now if I want to go into that folder, I would just say cd and then the name of the folder. So the ... is essentially saying go backwards. If I want to go forwards, I would just say go forwards, React Native, I gotta spell it correctly, React Native 2021, and then now I can see that that's where I'm at. And if I were to do ls, I can see the options that I have in here. So you want to get comfortable with some basic command line prompts, and CD and ls are super helpful to see where you're at and what is available for you in where you're at. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my Chore Tracker folder. So I'm going to say cd chore. Now let's just say I spelled it wrong like this. I made a typo. It's going to say that no file or directory exists. You have to spell it exactly correctly. You also have to have your case sensitivity correctly. So, so here I'm just going to say cd Chore Tracker, and now I'm inside there. And if I do ls again, I can see that I'm back where I wanted to be. Okay, so now at this point, once I've got my app going, I'm good to go. This is already an existing file and I want to run my code, I can say react-native. And then at this point, because I'm on a Mac, I can say run-iOS. I can also say run-Android because I have established my Android Studio environment. If you are using a Windows computer, you can only say React Native space run-Android. So I'm going to say here run-iOS. And what this is going to do is it's now launching an iOS emulator. Now you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff popping up. And if you're not used to working within a terminal, some of this stuff might scare you a little bit, right? You're not used to seeing all these things pop up. You're going to have different pop-up menus. All different things are happening here. So like, for example, you'll see this node menu popped up. And if I drag my emulator onto my screen, we can see here, let me see if I can resize this a little bit. Maybe not. Nope, not exactly. Let me adjust this window. Hold on, I'm going to pause the video and then resize the screen. Okay, so what you can see right here is my on-screen emulator. And I can go ahead and I can interact with this app just like I could in, Code.js. I can say Aubrey here and Riley, Brayden. If I were to go into earnings, I would see my different buttons. I could play around with these, do my week totals, go to my total money, and so forth. Now, this window right now, I'm going to minimize this window. Now, the cool thing about what we've got going on here is that I can go ahead and I can make changes in my code. So this right here, this terminal, I don't need to see this right now. I'm going to bring this down, okay? And what I want to do is I want to change some of these variables. So if we take a look at these earnings tasks, here I see mopping and raking, and I see $4 and $2. Well, we're kind of getting close to summer or winter, so we're going to say shoveling. And mopping, well, that's still pretty legit. But shoveling takes a lot longer, so I'm going to give this a $5 rate. And then when I say save, and I come over here, I just saved it. I come over here, it refreshed my app, and now you'll notice that these values have been refreshed. So this is like an instant refresh, which is super nice. It's really good to work with. Now, let's say, for example, I make a mistake. Let's say I have a missing comma here, and I save it. Well, at this point, I'm going to get an error. And I can see errors in a lot of places. So first of all, problems. That's a great place to see them. And we're used to seeing our errors in Eclipse from last year in Java, and Code.js did not give us the appropriate amount of debugging power that we were used to. Now, some of these this blue circle with the I, those are warnings, and those are spelling warnings because this C-spell extension package that I installed doesn't recognize those words. However, this one with the X, that is like a straight up error. It's telling me something was expected here. Now, it's telling me that a comma was expected, and so right away it's telling me that I needed to have that. And now that error went away, and you'll notice that the rest of these are all just warnings. Everything is all good. And so now I can go back to my app, and I can see everything that's going on here. All right, so that's all good and lovely, but let's say you want to create your own new project. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, I'm actually going to show how to do that in a different video. So I'm going to stop this video now and I'll make a different video for starting a new one.